We're here to solve this challenging Tapa-Like Loop puzzle by Murat Can Tonta. Its theme is 4x4x4 for these clue groups, and see a set of really challenging clues. These 1, 2, 3s, which are in a lot of the grid, are actually very ambiguous clues because they have a lot of the common loop sizes around them. So we're going to have a bit of work cut out to figure out how those go, although needing to have a 1 around them may help us. I'm starting with this 1, 1, 1, 1, which has these 4 forced corners. And even around that, I got a 2, 2, 2, 2, which also has these forced line segments that come out from the edges. All these corner cells will be used, and there'll need to be one segment that's into the loop around this clue and one segment that goes out from the loop. And at least in this cell where I can't come into this box at all, it's very obvious I make this connection and get this end going across, so a little bit of a startup there. Coming to some other clues, this 3, 4 has to be missing just one cell. And a good thing to ask is it missing this bottom cell? If that's the case, we'd have like a 3 and a 4, but the 4, whichever direction it comes from, ends in this top middle cell and it can't extend out. So this cell must be used, which means a 3 goes across it. 4 comes across this top edge, neither the left cell or the right cell. This clue isn't used. This 1, 2, 3 in the corner does need to get a 1 used, and it can't be this cell because we already have some loop ends around it, and it can't be on an edge, so this must be the corner. We then have to ask, this uses this total of 6 clues, so it must use at least one of these 3 cells up top. So if this loop end comes down, we can't get a 1, 2, 3 around this group. But with this being an isolated channel, the only way we can come across is to take exactly those 3 cells, and we can't do anything more in there. That now means I can't reach further into this space, so these cells are unused. This is where a 2 comes across, completes this 1 and this 2, so this is going to be part of a 3. So we finish that. This 3, 4 now extends like this. We've got a 1 here, we have a 2 or a 3. This is a 2 or a 3. So we got the star of this loop up top. We can look at this 4, 4 clue, so whatever side of this a clue comes in on, the other side will be where a different part extends out, and there'll be 2 runs of 3, where either the 4, 4 is this to the left and this to the right, or the other option. Those then also are going to work around this 3, 3 clue, and I bet there's some constraints here. This end, if it came to the left, will immediately come up. And again, remember that this cell is going to need to have one end that comes in and one end that's one of these spots. So if I actually did this, there's no way to use this cell. So this 3 can't come to the left, it's got to come down. There's still a set of options for the other 3 around this clue, because we can do things like in here, or come up this whole channel. But there's probably still some constraints that we'll deal with. This basically connectivity here, and again remembering that this 2, 2, 2 group is going to need to have something come through it. So what I'm trying to see is if there is a particular breakdown of these sections that's going to cause issues, and obviously one of the things we really want to do is force a steering around this whole group. And so, you know, either this comes up or this comes down. This coming down is going to force this to further go down, and that's going to put in this 3, 3 like this, but it's also then going to close this 4, 4 without actually taking 4 cells and with a shortened loop. So what I think I'm seeing is that this end can't come down, it must come up, which means this is the rotation around this clue for the rest of the 2, 2, 2. That means this extends further over. There's going to be some more stuff we can probably do here with end counting. So right now we've got 1, 2, 3 ends. If this comes down, then we only have these 2 ends, and we're not going to be able to get an end across here. So how do we make this clue work? We could put the 1 in here, and that's now required, but we'd get another 3 has to come through this channel and get 3 ends in the top, and you can't get a connected loop with an odd number of ends. So this has to be a gap. We still will need to get one more end up here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that looks good. This then is the 2 and the 1. That has to come like this. That means this is the 2 and the 3 here. These loops stay apart. So that's the 3, that's the 2. This end comes down. This can't extend, so this has to come down and over. This comes down, so this is the 3, this is the 2, and this remaining cell will be the 1. This comes down here. For this 3, 4 to work, we're going to have this end come left and another end here, so we can mark that in to get started. We still have some more to work through up top, and I guess another consequence when I was looking at this edge was seeing that we can't have this pattern where we come in too quickly into this 4 clue. So now seeing this pattern again, the one thing I can't do is take this edge. So the 4 is going to look like this and like this. That's going to give us these two ends up here. They can't both cross this channel, so actually neither can cross this channel. We need to have an even number up here, so this is 2 or 3. There's going to be an end coming here, and one part of it's going to come through this cell, but the other end has to come on this other side. So that's the 3 clue. We can't have these two ends both come into the 3 or they wouldn't actually get enough space. So this has to come like so. This comes down. These loop ends don't want to connect, so this comes down on its own. This comes down here. This end and this end don't want to connect, so we're going to again have to come through this bottom channel, and that actually finishes this 2-3 clues. So this is a good closure of the lower right. This loop end comes here. This can't come around this channel because there would have to be as many as 4, but where this has to take 6 clues around it, we've got to use all the cells that remain efficiently. The only place I see to get the 1 clue is in this corner now, so that's 1, 2, and 3. This end and this end come together, but this has to come up. That's a 2, that's a 3, this is a 1. These close is a 3, so this last clue is a 2, and so we finish the grid. So pretty challenging puzzle by Murat. Depending on how you found some of the patterns here, this may have been harder than even the puzzle coming tomorrow that I wrote, but for sure some common seeds, thinking about these 1, 2, 3s, particularly where the 1 clue goes around them. There's a fair amount of connection that's limited between this 4, 4, and 3, 3s. So sort of working through this center, you can see this pattern set of all 1s, all 2s, all 3s, all 4s. Working through this center looked to be the most critical to get into the grid. And then some end counting. We needed an even number of ends in this corner and even number of ends in this corner. And so working through those counts throughout the grid helped resolve the remaining steps. So I hope you got something through this video. Thanks, and we'll see you again soon.